Majesties, kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well and you are loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the support you give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters, to all of you my esteemed subscribers. You are all loved, celebrated and appreciated. So today I want to take your mind to something that was making its way out on the internet, and I don't know why it got suppressed, something like that. But that thing is the ghost DNA. I don't know if you've heard of the ghost DNA. Yeah, the ghost DNA. That's what it's called because scientists have been trying their best to trace back this DNA, to trace back this particular DNA, and from which region you're going to see in the clip that is coming soon. But there is a DNA called the ghost DNA. It is called the ghost DNA because scientists have tried their best to get to the origin, to get to the root of this DNA, and the more they keep going, they call it ghost DNA because they don't know how come, they don't know where it came from. They have been trying their best, and so they ended up giving it the name the ghost DNA because whatever it's called the ghost, you know already. Oh, majesties. Now, when you look at the motherland, when you look at the western part of the continent of Africa, you discover it's quite unfortunate that the Sahel is struggling to rise up, to push out positivity out there. And you see, the moment the western part of the continent wakes up, you know, when you talk about the western part, these are where some of the countries that have some upper hand, that carry some weight in the motherland is seated. And the fact still remains, Your Majesties, that as Africans, we have been here long enough. And that is why, if you check the video where I was talking about the Arab slave trade, I said blacks built the world. Africans, those of African descent, developed the world. And how were they able to? Because they were taken as slaves and thrown into some of these places to do some of these architectural works, to do some of these other jobs. How were they able to have that knowledge, to have the power, the intellectual knowledge and everything? It is because they are from the line of ancestors that already knew these things. They are from the line of ancestors that were pharmacists, line of ancestors that were chemists, line of ancestors that were, architects, line of ancestors that were developers. And that is why I keep saying this to you. As the melanated, we are builders. We are originators. We are not destroyers. If you're melanated and you have that urge to keep destroying things, ask yourself, what are you mixed with? What have you done to your DNA? What have you done to yourself, Your Majesties? Let's listen to this and we take it up from there.
Okay, family, this is big. You might want to sit down for this. Scientists that have been studying the DNA of modern West Africans have found out that they possess a DNA gene of a human that we don't even have records of. Now, dig this. This ancient archaic human lived on Earth about 500,000 years ago. This ghost population interbred with some of the West Africans about 50,000 years ago. So about 2 to 20% of modern day West Africans possess this ghost gene. Basically, about 500,000 years ago, you had a split in the human line. This split took place in Africa before the split of the Neanderthals and the Denisovans, like over 100,000 years before. For those who don't know, Africa has the most genetic diversity on the planet. Well, a lot of you are probably saying, what does this mean? Family, this means that we come from the senior branch of the human tree. This proves it right here. This is one of the reasons why this is so important, family. Our ancestors gave us some survival enhancing functions in our DNA, including tumor suppression and hormone regulation. These genes likely spread rapidly all across West Africa. So shout out to West Africa, y'all. I am a proud member of West Africa, 55% Nigerian. So the next time you hear anybody talking junk about West Africans, you tell them to respect their elders. You understand what I'm saying?
See these symbols that represent a city. symbols that represent a king or a ruler. So that existed from the interior of Africa. And you will see some of these symbols go back 60,000 years. The symbol of Haru can be found on Adam's calendar in South Africa, right? So it's just like Nataplaya. So Adam's calendar is a precursor to Nataplaya. It's on the 30th parallel. The Great Zimbabwe is on the 30th parallel. The Great Pyramid at Giza is on the 30th parallel. So I'm trying to show you this coordination all the way down the 30th parallel from Kemet at the top, the bottom of Africa, to the top of Africa, South Africa. Everything in alignment. So they're in existence. Now that can be dated more than 60,000 BCE. So that really messes people up. So now let me ask you, what was happening in Asia 60,000 years ago? What was happening in Europe 60,000 years ago? We have Denisovan and Neanderthal. I don't think they were writing anything, bro. I don't think they were reading anything. I don't even think they were talking. I think they were grunting like the gorillas and the chimpanzees and stuff like that. Okay. So, you know, we have to put things in space. That's why a timeline becomes so important when we're teaching the Kemetic spiritual system. In terms of organized writing and stuff like that, yes, Kemet, it was believed to be that cuneiform, that Europeans tried to make cuneiform older. But cuneiform came slightly afterwards, but close to it, right? But I want to say this here. The founders of cuneiform and the founders of Badu Necha are the same people. They both are Kushites. Kush. When you go to Sumer, in Asia there, Sumer was created by Nimrod, the son of Cush. So I want people to go back and look at these stories. Nimrod, Canaan, the Blackheads, the Gigi, these are all coming from ancient Kush. So the same people that founded Kemet, it was the same foreparents that founded Mesopotamia and all of that. So I want people to understand that cuneiform, the only difference is that cuneiform is abstract only. You have to know the culture and the language to translate that. Badu Necha is holographic and based upon nature. So it's symptomatic. One is totally symbolic and one is symptomatic. Symptomatic means that I can show you the origins of why that came into existence because I understand its nature. So that's why I teach symptomatic thinking in the Badu Necha. I wanted you to understand when we put Keper means coming into being, the dung beetle, so they studied the nature of the dung beetle. So that means somebody really, when I talk about study the animal kingdom, the animal domain, our ancestors really took this to the nth degree. So they studied every insect they could see. They studied every bug, every flower, every plant, every bird. If you are a bird watcher, ancient Kemet is heaven. Because that's the only water from miles around. So birds from all the continents come there to drink before they move on their journey. And so the ancient Kemetu studied these birds. They studied Keper, the dung beetle, is the strongest creature on the planet Earth in proportion to its size. It can lift 1,150 times its weight and carry it infinitely without getting tired. No such thing as getting tired.
Majesties, with some background from some informations out there, it is said that about 50,000 years ago, ancient humans in what is now West Africa apparently procreated with another group of ancient humans that scientists didn't know existed. And that is the ghost DNA that is present in the gene. Okay, there aren't any bones of ancient DNA to prove it, but researchers say the evidence is in the genes of modern West Africans. They analyzed genetic materials from hundreds of people in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and found signals of what they call ghost DNA from an unknown ancestor, Your Majesties. Our own species, Homo sapiens, lived alongside with groups that split off from the same genetic family tree at different times. And there's plenty of evidence from other parts of the world that early humans had sex with other hominins like Neanderthals. That's why the Neanderthal gene are present in humans today, in people of European and Asian descent. Homo sapiens also called with other group, also mated with other group. The Denisovans and those genes are found in people from Oceania. Now, Your Majesties, that's basically it there. You can try to Google and get some other informations, but this also validates what I talk about, our history, the creation story. Now, the creation story of our people is not what is in the Bible, Majesties. Like that is it. Okay? The creation story of our people dates back. Now, prior to that time in the garden that the gods decide to create a man called Adam, okay? Before that time, we have a bloodline of people who existed before when Adam was created. We have that bloodline in us, and that is what they call the ghost DNA. Because up until today, they've been trying, but they can't just figure out. So we are not the people of today or of yesterday. It's been a long time coming, Your Majesties. And that's why I keep saying is that we have the opportunity, okay? And that's why sometimes we discover that we are people who are powerful. We are people who, you don't just believe what the mainstream media tells you. Just imagine you've been in here for a very long time. A long time that even scientists cannot date your time back. They can't. Because you have something in you. You have that DNA in you. The DNA of the one who created the universe. You have that DNA in you. And that's what we talk about. Okay? Because when we talked about the creation story, when we're doing the video about knowing ourselves as the nine ether, I told you that when we were created, we were given the DNA of the creator. Okay? So we have some powers in us. We are powerful people. And that's why we are not supposed to worship anything outside. Because the one that's his creation is in us. The one that creation came out of is in us. So why should you be worshiping things that are created? So you are overlooking the creator in you to worship things that was created. That's why worship itself is something that was implanted in us. It's something that was put into our DNA. It's not something that originally we do. Okay? It was put into us by the enemy, by the disagreeable one, so that we can worship him as the God. He posed around as the creator, as the God, and all of us we are worshiping. All the religions of the world worship this same being that posed as God, that posed as the creator of the universe. But we have that, like I said, the DNA of the creator. So we shouldn't be worshiping any other thing. Because that creator is in us. The one we should give praise and everything to, thanks for everything is in us. Not outside of us. And that's why the solution to all our problems reside inside of us. Not outside. Your success, your progress, okay, do not come because something outside worked it out. It came to you because something inside you and that thing inside of you worked it out. And that's why our thoughts are powerful. Because your thought is like you speaking already to the creator. So when you think evil, you are speaking evil already. And so evil will begin to manifest in your life. When you speak good, goodness will manifest in your life. So you choose which one you want. It's not a magic. We have to realize this so that our life will be better. And our connection will forge a solid connection with the creator of the universe and with nature, because this is where we belong, not any other thing. Any other thing that we do is just wasting of our time and drawing out of our energy to other sources. Leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section, Your Majesties, and I'll see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive, always, Your Majesties. Bye for now.